Hello, and welcome to I Choose You, the podcast about cooking and eating Pokemon. My name is Jeremy Zielik. I am the host and Alton Brown of the group. Joining me this week, as always, is...
your friend on this show, Ben Montoya.
Ian Davis, the Ajantis Ilvastar of the group.
And Evan Aubrey. I was sorry for the abrupt crack, but I had to wait till we started the show, and I was parched.
Oh, what are you drinking there, Evan?
I got a mango orange spindrift this evening.
That does sound pretty good.
Delicious.
Sounds fucking tropical. Well, I've also got a mango flavored drink. I'm drinking lemon mango hard cider, so...
Nice. Ian?
Yummy.
Just a classic lime LaCroix.
Classic.
Nice. Ben?
I'm just drinking a AleSmith Sunshine Bliss Hazy IPA.
Ooh. Is it blissful?
It's pretty blissful. Yeah, it's got a great color scheme.
Do you think the AleSmith is like, he has like a giant like hammer, and he like hammers on like some like barley, and then like the ale comes out as he's like hammering it into his glass?
There is a...
I wish that's how beer works.
The logo for AleSmith is just a giant anvil, so I imagine that's what... Yeah, that's exactly what happens. They just take the hops, put it on the anvil while it's still hot, and smack them into beer. Straight into liquid.
Ian, so are you just like a exclusive like lime guy at this point? Because I know for me at least, I'm always like, oh, this week, I'm gonna branch out. I'm gonna try like a different flavor. So I just keep it like mixing it up. But are you just like lime just does it for you?
No, I just don't buy. I honestly don't have to stock up as much as I used to. I just like can't afford to live that lifestyle anymore right now. So like probably every 2 weeks I'll buy like 2 12-packs. And I ration those. So the other one in my fridge is that pink lemonade Polar.
Oh, nice. That's a good one.
It's really good.
I like
Honestly, I also like Grace doesn't love the lime. I think she likes the other one. So like I'm just purposely drinking the one that I know isn't her favorite.
You're doing your civic duty as a cohabitator.
I'm kind of a fucking martyr.
You're like up on the cross, and like that guy stabs you so you bleed out, but instead of stabbing you,
lime LaCroix
like pushes a lime LaCroix open to your mouth as you're being crucified, and you're like, "Thank you, sir."
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, exactly like that. But
new Catholic dogma: instead of wine, it's LaCroix in during communion.
Yes.
I can see Ian starting a cult with that.
Colt.
A LeCult.
Yes.
Nice.
Well, to join this LeCult, you have to be pure.
Oh.
And naturally essenced.
A purist.
Some would say he was Christified.
Well, you see, it's funny.
Christ has risen.
You see, it's funny. Is LaCroix is
cross.
French for the cross.
Yeah.
Think about it.
Like,
I mean,
we're halfway there.
Ooh.
and if you think about it, like how there's that video of that lady talking about the Monster Energy drink and how that's like a symbol of the devil. LaCroix is more pure. So this is probably like,
that's right up her alley.
Drink brand to do battle with the devil.
Yeah, so like Ian's like at a convention and he's like, look at this can of LaCroix. It says LaCroix. You know that's French for the cross? And then he turns it around and he's like, I've got this paper I want to show you. It's like a Kabbalah. And he's like, you see the symbol on the back?
It says...
If you overlay it on top of the can.
It says it's innocent, just like Christ.
I crack it open
Ooh.
and I pour it into a glass, but then it's just like fucking like cross necklaces just pour out.
Yes. Well, you crack one open and you pour it out, and someone takes it, and then another person comes up to you and you keep pouring it, and it's like it's like the fish and loaves, except it's this LaCroix can never goes out.
Remember that time we were all on that island and there were like 4,000 people for our live show, and you were like, how are we going to quench the thirsts of all these people?
Yeah. We only have salt water, and our one source of naturally essenced is this single can of LaCroix. We cannot possibly feed them all.
Is Is this like our fire festival?
Yes.
May your cup
Nice.
overfloweth.
Yes.
And then we got on that boat, and then we landed on that other island, and there were all those pigs, and then I cast the demon out of that guy's body into the pigs, and I destroyed the economy of that small. That's one of my favorite stories from the Bible is him just
The story of Legion.
when he just like destroys that local pig herder like economy island, and they're like, please leave.
But there was a demon there.
Yeah, but he's like, I'm gonna take these people's whole livelihood and just drown it in the water.
Okay, but Ian, what if there was a demon there? Like, you would want the demon to not be there, right?
A monster, if you will.
Yeah, a monster energy.
Surely I wouldn't, but also like if that was my only source of income in like the early ADs, I think I'd be more concerned with like
Everyone's listening to new wave music in the early 80s.
that's pretty good.
Well, welcome to I Choose You, the slightly biblical podcast.
Slightly biblical.
Someone asks Jesus what his favorite band is, and he's like, I'm a big fan of Karen Carpenter. Oh.
You could. I think we could say that our listeners know us in a biblical sense.
This is an intimate experience, so I'm sure.
Well, I'm glad we
Bustle
started
in.
this LeCult, which I'm sure will inspire many delicious fan art. I don't know. whatever.
This episode's
I'm
not.
sure there'll be a Netflix documentary.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. Like, this episode isn't going to age well. Like, there's going to be a Netflix documentary 10 years from now that's going to, like,
Wild LaCroix.
it's going to, like, have the audio for this episode, like, in a, like, wave, like, scarily animated, like, waveform. And it's
And our
like,
voices are distorted.
the icy
Just
boys.
a picture of Jeremy's mugshot zooming in and out.
But it's like really fast.
They jokingly referred to starting a cult.
Ian Davis said he would ruin the economy of this island if given the opportunity.
Pretty good.
Anyway.
Okay, well, before all that and before the show started, Ben was like, oh, ho, ho, I've got a fun adventure to tell you about. And Ben, what is the fun adventure that you want to tell us about?
So this thing happened to me over the last week, and it's more of like a sort of getting old. It's more of a coming of age story, honestly.
It's a real building roman.
Exactly.
If we're being honest with ourselves.
But I thought it's relevant to this show because we talk a lot about eating bugs, right? And I think for the most part, it's pretty pro eating bugs. Food of the future. Bug type episodes are usually a good time on this comedy hour. But I do have to say that it does reach a limit, and I think the limit is like, with many things like non-consensual bug eating. You don't want to be eating bugs when you aren't aware of it, right?
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
I see.
And this
Okay.
is something that I hadn't really thought about until this weekend when my partner Asia is like doing dishes and is like kind of looking at these bowls and is like, hey, there's like bugs in here. And it turns out that we had a bunch of weevils living in our flour / pancake mix / other like dry ingredients in our like pantry shelf, which is shared with our dishes. And so we don't know how long, but we're assuming a little bit, because there was a lot of them. That they've been living in our dishes and our like kitchen like shelf.
When's the last time you made pancakes?
a while ago.
Okay.
And we don't really bake often either. Like, we don't use those kinds of ingredients for much stuff. So it was the kind of situation where we had kind of neglected some of those ingredients because we hadn't used it for much. But when I did look, so we started looking at them and I was like, oh my God, this is so weird. And so we started looking it up, and they're called weevils. And they are small little beetle insects that will get into your flour and whatnot. And the only thing we could do is just take out all of our kitchen stuff, like wipe down everything with like vinegar and wipe the shelves and like take it all out basically. So let it be a lesson learned.
So you've been having
to always
we
make
gotta
sure
check.
that you don't have bugs in your food.
But extra source of protein, Ben.
So wait, whenever I Google Weevil, it just comes up with the Pokemon. How do I spell this?
Are you spelling it Weedle or Weevil?
No, Weevil.
I think it's WEEVLE or something like that.
I believe it's Weevil.
Oh, what evil?
VIL.
Evil.
Yes.
Oh, that's terrible. You had. Oh no.
So yeah, they come in little like tiny. You can't really like. I think there's like different types of them, but the ones that we had were just like super small little brown bugs that hid very well, and we probably ate them. Many of them, possibly.
Well, Ben, I'm gonna say I've had this exact same experience, but with I'm sorry, Ian. Go ahead.
In the spirit of your job, did you look up any like Weevil recipes?
Podcast.
Where you're like,
I did.
can I eat these?
Takes you to some backdoor forum
Yes.
that's like, oh yeah, you can totally eat
No,
that.
actually, I didn't. Maybe I should have, but I instead was sort of like, maybe that's why like Asia's been sort of sick the last couple days, and like why I had like my stomach was really upset the other day or whatever. That's when I started to like backpedal and been like, maybe we have been eating them this whole time.
What
and
What if actually you have been eating them this whole time, but you guys are getting the rumblies because you haven't eaten them in a couple of days, and it's like,
That's true. You need
You're
more.
having a Weevil deficiency.
I'm having Weevil withdrawals.
Well, I guess you could say not eating them is the lesser of two Weevils.
oh, there it is.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
I was going to say that I had this literally exact same experience in college when I was living above Ian, but with ants. There's like an ant colony that like got into my apartment, and it was like for a month, like every day I literally had to like wipe everything down just because ants would like crawl into my pantry and get into my food. And one day I woke up and I was like, cereal, and I poured a bowl of cereal and I was like, oh shit, there's ants in my cereal.
Bowl of ants.
I did take one bite, so I did eat some ants that day.
Nice. Crunch, crunch.
And I was like, oh, god damn it. So then the next day I was like, okay, I'm just going to buy like industrial strength bug spray. I'm going to throw out all my food, and I'm just going to literally like bomb my apartment and not go into it for like a day. And I did that, and then the ants were less of a problem from that point forward. But
Eat your cereal with Raid instead of
yes, delicious.
It's weird because when that happened in your apartment, for some like it happened to coincide with Michael's ant farm breaking.
This is like when someone's snake gets loose in the house.
Like Ian's snake. Well, it turned out that Ian's snake knocked over Michael's ant farm and released all the ants into my apartment.
There it is.
It's true.
I will say also yesterday I was just out hiking and I was like just walking and a like bug flew directly down my throat and I like choked on it for like
That's where I thought Ben's story was going. I thought he just like kept walking down the street a couple of days recurringly, and just bugs would just fly into his mouth.
Not yet.
well, it was really unfortunate because I was talking to somebody and they were like, well, they were like saying whatever, and I was like trying to be a good listener. Instead, I started like coughing and hacking up
Bug.
like, spit because like a bug flew directly down my throat. And I'm like, I'm so sorry. I like have to choke for a little bit just to get this to stop. And
They're just begging to be eaten.
yes. Well, they're so small, like, and they like warm, damp places like my mouth.
About a month ago, I was on a little motorcycle excursion, and going down this country road, there was suddenly like all these yellow butterflies all around.
Oh.
And I was like, wow, this is beautiful. And then thump, 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 thump. Like, and they started just like whacking my helmet. I was like,
Oh no. Your windscreen is just like covered in this.
Yeah, it's always like, oh man, like I was like, the beauty of nature, and then a bunch of like birds fly into my car or whatever, or like whatever. You know, it's like, I'm sorry, this didn't have to be this way, but unfortunately, it just is. Well, that's our personal experiences, which I hope can inform the main topic of the show, which is I Choose You, the podcast about cooking and eating Pokemon. Each week, we randomly select a new Pokemon to prepare for each other, and we come up with delicious recipes, and we share with one another, and we decide amongst ourselves who has the best recipe. This week's Pokemon is Pyroar from Generation 6. I think Ian won last week, if I'm remembering correctly.
Pretty sure.
Yeah, so Ian, do you want to start us off for this week's episode, the recipe segment?
Sure. So
You had a funny name.
Oh, you think it's funny?
Can you say it again?
Yeah, I'm Ajantis Ilvastar,
Uh-huh.
the lawful good paladin,
Okay. I was going to say, is this like a guy from an anime? I was pretty close.
worshiper of Helm. Quote, when asked about his past, Ajantis announces that he is a squire paladin of the most noble order of the Radiant Heart, and that he enforces the power of discipline of Helm. And if you're a nerd-ass bitch, you would recognize him as being from Baldur's Gate.
Baldur's Gate.
Baldur's Gate are the D&D video games.
Yes, they take place in the Forgotten Realms.
Okay.
Which is
I think Ian won upsets this week. I can't keep
my
up.
trap card. Anyway, the reason I bring this up is, of course, I looked up lion meat recipes, which yielded a lot of like mountain lion, not a lot of lion. So I had to search like African lion recipes.
Well, I will say I have actually eaten mountain lion.
How was it?
Oh.
I don't actually remember that well. It was a long time ago, but I think it was actually fairly tender. So that's that, I guess.
Well, it took me to this website called almersguides.com, which I didn't think much of. Like, I was just like, all right, it's like another weird fucking website with some like weird recipes. But I'm looking at this like digital meat.
Okay.
Is it like a polygonal meat that's like spinning in a diff?
Unfortunately, I think like a RuneScape-esque image of like a steak.
Nice.
Delicious.
Yes.
And it's talking about like lion meat is one of the vendor purchased trade skill items for baking that you need for $3.50, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? Went to the homepage and I was like, oh, Baldur's Gate, which if you guys haven't played is like a really good video game. But there's a number of recipes you can craft within the game using lion's meat. And one is called Hallis 10-pound meat pie, or
10-pound.
10-pound meat pie roar.
Well,
All right.
my recipe.
All right. You also took my
meat
recipe.
pie.
I mean, not really.
You also took my
Oh,
recipe.
Oh,
guys.
guys, all right. And that's been I Choose You. You can find us. Well, I can guarantee this recipe is probably different than yours because it is 10
Okay.
pounds.
That is more.
It's true.
Yeah.
My pie is theoretically a normal amount of pie.
Well, you see,
We're just voting on amounts of pie.
this pie is considered to be sorry, let me check my notes here, a miraculous meal.
Okay.
Size giant. You have to craft a special loot box just to carry it around.
Okay.
Damn, that's a big
And-
pie.
Almost all of the ingredients have to be crafted in order to make it because, and I'll for the listeners at home, I'll just convert this into Pokemon language. You need 1 Ursaring fillet in cream, a clump of dough. Sorry, 2 clumps of dough.
Can you give me like a clump and like a measurement? Is that like 3 fistfuls, maybe a dollop and 2?
I think 1 clump you can hold in a hand.
Okay.
You need a Pyroar fillet in cream. And originally I was going to do this fillet in cream for the Pyroar. It uses like a fennel sauce, which sounds pretty good.
Nice.
Mammoth swine fillet in cream.
Oh shit! 2 types of
3.
meat.
in cream.
We got lions and bears and mammoths.
Oh my.
And wolf fillet in cream. Or, for those keeping track at home, maybe a lickin' rock.
A lichen rock, perhaps?
No, I think it's pronounced lickin'.
Okay.
Ian, how do you feel about lichen?
I like it.
Okay.
I'm liking it.
Okay.
Ah.
Have you ever eaten lichen? Have you ever like looked at some on a rock and you're like, damn, that's good eats.
God damn it.
No, I
so far from the recipe.
Yeah, I haven't eaten any moss. You also need sage leaf and a pie tin.
Okay.
And I don't know what to tell you. You like, I think in the spirit of this recipe, you take all of those pre-made dishes and you just layer it into this massive pie tin, lay some pie crust on it, stick it in the oven, which here it says you need a guild oven to use it. If you're using a portable container, it can be a guild oven or an oven placeable, or if you're using a static container, a new 10N oven, or just an oven, not placeable.
I like that you're making a recipe in a video game.
Crafting a
with
recipe.
Ingredients from a different video game.
Yeah.
That's pretty...
Yeah, what I like is that, like, you're saying placeable, it's like, you can't put this item certain places because it's probably too large, I would assume. I have not played these games, but I do know that they're like RPGs.
Yeah. I mean, it's like the classic RPG, just like D&D in video game form. I did have to... So when I was looking at the line fillet and cream, I checked out the comments, because this is like a forum from 2002.
Seems controversial.
It seems Yeah, it is. I need to find this like real snarky guy who says... He's responding to someone. He says, "I'm hoping that you are commenting on the impending spoilage of the meat from carrying it around in a leather knapsack, and not simply confusing the words fatigued and fillet, a certain way of cutting meat. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt and laugh accordingly." And then there's like, do you remember those really old school like OG emojis that kind of like move a little bit?
Oh yes.
He put like one.
They're like pixely.
One of like a smiley face laughing. And then, unless, of course, I find out differently, in which case I'll have to dog you incessantly, and then smiley face with a little crown like hanging off the side of its head.
Wow.
And that was from November 12th, 2003 at 10:12 a.m.
Oh, shit.
I was going to say, this seems very 2003. Feels like some instant messenger type stuff.
Yeah.
So,
Any thoughts on how it tastes?
I mean, there's like a lot of... What baffled me was not like that there are 4 meats or that it's 10 pounds, but like that's so many like cream dishes. Like, are you using the same cream for all of them? Like,
Yeah. Just fucking get a cow squirting all over the place here.
It's gonna be moist, to say the least.
Moist pie.
Like you like crack it open and it's like cereal on the inside.
Oh.
I mean, to its benefit, like if you're making a 10-pound pie, you probably do have to like pre-cook all the stuff going into it.
That's it. Yeah, that is a dense pie.
I mean, it's miraculous. It'll heal you up to full fucking health, you know.
I get like bonus hearts from that.
I can't. It's been a while, but let's see. All right. +5 to stamina, +5 to agility, +5 HP.
Uh-huh.
Oh no, sorry. Dex is
Nice.
+5, stamina +5, agility +5, HP +30.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Nice.
So this thing's taking care of you. And any
I like that in video games you eat 10 pounds of food and you're like, I'm stronger than ever.
and you can stack 20 of them, so it doesn't take up too much inventory space.
Yes.
Nice.
Put them all on top of each other and it's like the guy who has hats for sale.
Pounding
And
this
you're carrying them
10-pound pie.
Yep, that's
All right.
Um,
That's interesting.
Ben, did you also have a pie roar recipe?
Well, I did. I had a rhubarb pie that I was thinking of making for you all.
I like that.
Ooh, that's pretty good.
Because I liked the pun, and also I was looking at Pyroar, and it kind of looks like rhubarb if you think about it, like the mane.
Okay.
I'm kind of imagining like the fur that flows out from its face is just like little
Rhubarb.
stalks of rhubarb, kind of,
Nice.
Is it like real life rhubarb where it like grows really fast and like makes terrifying noises as it grows?
terrifying noises.
Wait, is that what?
Yeah. So when people grow rhubarb, what they do is they do it they get a pitch black container and they plant the rhubarb, and it's called forcing the plant. And the rhubarb grows so quickly that you can hear the plant like crack open and grow as it's in like just by standing in the dark, and it's like pop, 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 pop.
All right, we need to find some like rhubarb ASMR to post on Twitter.
Shit.
So my question is, are we forcing the rhubarb on the rhubarbs? So it's like it like takes like a day to grow out, so you have to constantly like cut it off to make your pies.
I didn't know about that technique. I was kind of imagining that you do have to keep it a little bit trimmed. Otherwise, they start to get like green and not so tasty anymore. But the primary flavor profile of a rhubarb is sour, tart. And so I found a rhubarb lemon pie that I'm going to make, which involves making a sort of like compote out of the rhubarb that we're going to harvest from our Pyroar. So it's kind of like cooking it down with sugar and vanilla and cardamom, and you kind of just let it get into like a preservey kind of sweet, syrupy kind of like texture. Then, of course, you're going to need some pie dough and put that in your pie tin. And then the additional aspect of this is like a lemon custard type of situation that you're going to create with sugar, yogurt, eggs, lemon zest, and lemon juice combined in a food processor. And then you're going to like kind of mix in the lemon custard filling with the Pyroar compote thing. And so you get kind of like a yellow red mixture on your pie, and then you're going to bake all of that for 20-25 minutes, and then it's ripe and ready for the taken, just like one Yogi Bear would like. But I was also thinking about, we talk a lot about cooking and eating food and Pokemon, but we don't talk as much about storing food, proper food storage, which is another thing that I just want to emphasize.
Yeah, salting and storing Pokemon.
You're not supposed to leave out cooked dishes for over 4 hours in a above 40-degree temperature environment.
Thank you, Jeremy. Which is why I always use Pyroar's Tupperware, the glass Tupperware that's just always reliable, because they use... Is that Ben, is that Tupperware microwave safe? It is, and it's durable, and they say that only the Pyroar can get the flamethrower just right to make the Pyroar's food leftover containers.
Well, I assume that this Tupperware is made from boron, which is the strongest material for microwave-safe cooking storage.
It is.
This sounds like this week's sponsor.
Boron.
Pyroar's for your leftovers. Because, even if you are the hungriest you've ever been...
You can't eat 10 pounds of pie in one sitting. Trust me, I've tried.
After eating 10 pounds of pie, you probably will only have room for one more slice. So there's going to be leftovers, right? So I'm going to put my rhubarb pie in my Pyroar's stuff.
You wouldn't just put tinfoil over the pie and stick that in the fridge?
You could do that. If you wanted your fucking pie to go bad and for it to lose all of its delicious flavor.
If you didn't appreciate a good pun, I guess.
I gotta level with you guys. Like, maybe I would imagine you guys know this about me by now, but like growing up, there was no concept of like food needs to be in the fridge to like stay like, oh, we had Chinese food last night, like, oh, like just leave the fried rice in the styrofoam like on the table, and then in the morning you go back to it. Or like get like a real big pizza pie, just it'll sit in the box for the next like 4 days. It's good. So.
I mean, most of those two things that you just listed seem relatively fine. Like, sure, I've done that with pizza, but like
meats.
There's some things you just don't want to leave out.
Yes.
Yeah, like raw meat, or well, not raw meat, but like regular meats.
Well, like I remember distinctly my freshman year of college, where like that's like the magical time where suddenly like all the shit you do in your home with your family,
Yeah,
like,
exactly. You're right. Yeah.
it comes to light, and everyone's like, "What the fuck are you doing?" So like I remember I got like some I don't know, some like orange chicken from the food court, and I got some extra for a friend. But I wasn't gonna see her until like for a few hours, so I just like let it sit with me in the piano lab or whatever, and then I gave it to her, and she's like halfway through it, and I was like, somehow it came out that I had just like let it sit for all that, and she gave me this look like, you just fucking poisoned me. What the fuck is that? I'm like, chill, dude. Like, what's the?
Chill.
I don't see the problem here. I do this all the time.
Well, you could. Oh, look,
I would say
I do see the
overnight.
problem.
Overnight's a stretch.
Again, you're not supposed to leave cooked food out for more than 4 hours and eat it without putting it in some sort of below 40 degree Fahrenheit temperature. That's like if you're at a restaurant, you would get in trouble kind of situation, because that's a major health code violation. Now, I'm not saying you'll die immediately, but I would prefer to put my food in a below 40 degree temperature situation to make sure it's safe.
Ian, you should open a dry aged steakhouse, but you just leave the steaks out on the counter for like weeks at a time.
That's how this works.
Yeah, you put it in like a really dry room. You get some dehumidifiers. Let it sit up.
Yeah, because it's just the moisture that's the issue.
Yep. This reminded me of something, but I confirmed. My thing is that modern Pyrex has been was talking up is actually quite bad because they don't put boron in it anymore. It's bad. So
you mean bad as in like not efficient, or bad as in not good for you?
Well, it's not as heat resistant, or it has less heat plasticity than old Pyrex does. So like old Pyrex, I have a Pyrex like measuring cup that I used, and I dropped it once and a chip came out of it. That's the only time it's ever been broken. Never been broken by heat. Stick it in the oven, pull it out, put it in water, you'll be fine. But modern Pyrex is mostly just glass, no boron in it. So it can get heat stressed and shattered. So that's a consumer advocacy warning from me, Jeremy Zelick.
Okay.
Consumer Reports Master, Jeremy Zelick.
Okay. All right.
I could do my recipe.
Is
next.
it also a pie?
Yeah.
Seems to be a
Cat's
theme.
out of the bag this week. It's oops all pie.
Right.
Yeah. So my recipe this week is it's now fall. It's getting into cozy season. Yeah. So I was thinking of like a good fall pie to make, and I think I'm gonna go the apple pie route. That's a good one. We're not quite pumpkin pie season. I mean, I guess we kind of are, but I'm saving that for later. And so what I'm presupposing here is that the shiny Pyroar, the main is really just a nice ready to go pie crust.
Shiny Pyroar.
That's just all the way around. It's not much different from regular Pyroar.
Okay.
It's just like a little bit lighter tinged.
Okay.
So what I'm presupposing is that's all just pie crust so that you can just have at the ready. So, but we're doing a little bit of a twist, because I know it's not nearly close to February, but for some reason I thought of this. There's like that cake, right, that has a baby inside of it, and when you whoever has finds the baby
cake?
in the cake. Yeah, the king cake. Whoever finds the baby in the cake, it's like, good luck for all eternity or whatever.
All eternity.
Well, I think what reminded me of it was you look at the Generation X flavor text, and it goes, the male with the largest mane of fire is the leader of the pride. So here's what I presuppose, or here's what I'm doing. We're making little apple pie pops.
Ooh.
So like, on a stick, nice and like one biteable kind of pops. But they're all of like varying sizes. And for Halloween, you give these out, right? And whoever, comes away with the largest pie pop is the leader of the pride.
Halloween prince.
Yeah, the Halloween prince, if you will. So to make these little pie pops, it's basically, as you'd normally make an apple pie. So you're going to mince up the apples to make it like really, we're making small pies here. We're not making large pies. You're going to mix some cinnamon and sugar and a little bit of lemon juice and salt and all that stuff for the filling. And you're going to take your Pyroar mane and get a little like round cookie cutter style deal, because we're going to make tiny little crusts. You make 2 of them for each one, and then you just kind of like a dumpling basically. You're going to just like pie filling on top of crust, and then you're going to slab another thing of crust on top and just kind of seal it around a little like a popsicle stick or like a lollipop, stick or something like that. And then those are going to go in the oven, and there you go.
Nice.
And so the way they're displayed is it's not apparent immediately who has the longest stick, I guess. Okay.
Yeah, I was trying to figure that out. You might, because you're right, because you don't want to put them like face up, like nice and presented. So you kind of want to maybe like do it like drawing straws in a way where you're like hold them upside down or something and be like, oh, pick your pie pop type of thing.
So is this a Pyroar pie pop?
It is a Pyroar pie
right.
pop.
How does, I don't think I've ever seen like a pie pop. I can conceptualize like a cake pop, how that structurally is sound, but how does the pie stay on the stick?
Almost the same way.
Oh.
Wow.
Showing a picture on screen. These are like, I'm surprised these hold together, but
It almost sounds more like I really like the idea. It seems kind of like an empanada almost.
They're basically empanadas
with like a stick attached in the middle.
Right.
And is this
exactly?
Is this like trick or treat? You open the door, and then you're holding like a big bucket with them, and they pull them out. Is that like the delivery?
Yeah, exactly. So they're all varying sizes, and you can only pick one because you can't cheat and have 2. It's not like you can't have like 2 fortune cookies. Not allowed. So you just pick the one you get, and whoever has the biggest one wins.
And then like there's that one kid who's like, "Thanks, mister," and he just like shoves it in his pillowcase.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say that
Crushes
like if you're making homemade goods for children on like Halloween to trick or treat with, they don't deserve it. Like they just don't give a shit. They're just out for as much candy as possible. They don't deserve this like primo pie pop experience.
Just put a razor in it and remind them, who's boss.
Here's my idea for trick or Halloween this year. Bags of sugar.
Just
raw
full
sugar.
bags of sugar
packets.
Maybe like they're like coffee sugars that I just throw in a pumpkin and put outside my house.
put it in a little dime
Yeah,
bag.
there you go.
People would really appreciate that.
What is
Dye it like a fun color or something.
what's your ideal Halloween candy?
Reese's. It's always that.
I would go Almond Joy.
So here's the thing is like there's a difference between like a favorite candy and like an ideal Halloween candy. Like I feel like sometimes getting like those little nuggets of like a sort of a rare one for me was always like more interesting. Like 100 grand.
What are the rare
Yeah,
ones?
100 grand for me
100
stands out as like if I had like if I got like 1 or 2 of those in my bucket, I'd be like, ooh, this is kind of like a special one, But I'd say like it's not my favorite one though. Like I feel like one of my faves is probably like Snickers for sure.
Yeah, I always appreciated, well, on Halloween especially, like king-sized Snicker bars. There'd be those houses that like give out the real goods. Yeah. What about you, Ian? What's your go-to?
My favorite was I loved when I got Laffy Taffy and Tootsie Rolls.
Really?
When you get
Tootsie
like
Rolls.
the like
I was all about it.
foot long ones. God,
Really?
that was the dream. Oh yeah, I love Tootsie Rolls so much.
Wait, foot long. Oh, Tootsie Rolls. I thought you said foot long.
And then like
Yeah. Or you get the ones that are like really
oh
thick
yeah,
too.
like the real nugs. And then you
Really?
like,
Yeah.
yeah, I was a fiend for those.
Interesting. I feel like those would always be like the last dregs of my bowl. Like at the end, at the end of the year, it'd be like, I guess I still have some Tootsie Rolls.
We should have teamed up.
Yeah, I know. Seriously.
I know. What are you doing?
And then of course, you have your jar of candy, and you're like, oh boy, this is gonna last me the year. And then you get to the end of the year, and you throw one of those Tootsie Rolls in your mouth and just shatter your teeth.
Yeah.
Delicious.
Excellent. All right. Well, my recipe is obviously not going to win this week because it's also pie themed, and Evan already discredited it. So
Discredited.
It is
I did?
Pumpkin Pyroar because it's like,
Oh,
I'm like, it's
nice.
October. It's spooky season. I went to the fucking farmer's market and they're throwing fucking pumpkins left and right like
Hup, hup.
fish in Seattle.
Hup,
Yeah.
We got a big one. Huh.
Nice.
Yeah, exactly. And it was like fucking Squid Game over there where I have to dodge real life projectiles coming at me and all this shit. And it was great. And it was the first day of October, so it's like that meme where it's like the guy turning the calendar to 1984, but instead of me, it's turning it to October, and then a bunch of skeletons jump out at me or whatever. But as I was walking, I had a very fall themed weekend. I was drinking apple cider, looking at the pumpkins.
Oh shit!
Did you do some
I
peeping?
fucking peeped the shit out of those leaves this weekend, kind of situation.
Mm-hmm.
It was great. Got that autumn gold in my camera. All that business, and I was like, Pyroar, obviously it has the name pie in it, and I'm Autumn Man, so I'm gonna go Pumpkin Pyroar. So what we're gonna do is I'm presupposing, much like last week, that each segment of the Pyroar's main is a different spice in the pumpkin spice, which is the integral part to the pumpkin pie. So one, cinnamon, the other, allspice, the next one, nutmeg. And you dry them out, grind them up, and they've got just an extra little bit of kicker to them because it's obviously a fire type. Then we use ground pumpkaboo for our base. Cut that shit up, sprinkle it with some cinnamon or Pyroar ground, and put that in the oven. Get it nice and tender. Bring it out, puree it, mix it with your sweetened condensed milk, your spices. Get a nice crust, nice and flaky. Fill it up. Stick it in the oven, pull it out, either eat it warm or let it cool, and then get a nice bit, get your most nipplicious milk tank, get some milk from it, separate it into cream, get your stand mixer, whip that up, throw a dollop of whipped cream on it, bada boom, pumpkin Pyroar. Yes, Ian.
Pie is something I would leave out for days.
Yes.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Interesting. Really makes you think.
You just have a pie next to your bed, and you wake up and take a bit of it and eat it as you're getting.
I
You wake up and you're trying to
Ian,
turn off your alarm, but you just hand the pie.
Hand in the pie. Yes. Just you're well, I might as well just eat it at this point.
Yes.
I was gonna poll the group here on warm pumpkin pie versus cold because I need my pumpkin pie to be freezing, ice cold, not
freezing.
Frozen. All right, maybe freezing was a little too
Hyperbolic.
Would you keep it in a sub 40 degree temperature environment for over 24 hours?
Yeah, I would. I want it to be cold to the touch.
Interesting. Huh.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember if I let you guys in on this little tradition of mine, but for the past 4-ish, 5-ish year, maybe longer. I think it started in college, but every October 15th or so, I'd go to my local grocer, whether it's a Safeway or a QFC, and just pick up one of their pumpkin pies and eat it whole right there that night.
You have discussed this before.
All
Yes.
one sitting. Yeah. So I'm all for cold. I don't need to waste time warming it up. It's good no matter what.
Mm-hmm. I kind of like to imagine that you just have a reminder on your calendar for October 15th, but it doesn't have any.
Oh boy, October 15th.
It just has a pumpkin emoji on it, and you're just just
Today's
waiting for
the
that day
day
to go to Safeway and get the pumpkin pie.
I feel like eating a warm pumpkin pie is like drinking a warm beer. That's truly how it is
Yeah.
for me. Yeah.
Well, but you see, you're supposed to drink beer warm.
Jeremy,
And then you're supposed to eat pie warm. It's baked.
Well, most pie, sure, but I don't know about this pie.
Jeremy, don't give me your European bullshit. I've never seen you drink a water.
Yeah, you drink about the room
I
temperature.
love my beer being the same temperature as my piss.
Okay, well, that's a little bit
Well, first of all, your urine is a little warmer inside your body, which is warmer than most rooms I've found.
But, like, it's a pie. Like, it just came out of the oven, right? Hypothetically.
Yeah, you put it on a fucking windowsill and a hobo smelled it and they're floating towards your house to, like, come eat it. You know what I'm saying?
I do agree that it needs to sit for a little bit, but, like, refrigerator cold, I mean, I'd take it. I won't deny it, but I'm not going to be gravitated towards...
Ben will deny this pie 2 times.
Jesus Christ. Literally.
Exactly.
I'm not talking about all pies, specifically pumpkin.
No, I agree. This is also like the only pie that I'll just like straight up eat with my hands.
Yeah, you gotta like.
You don't even cut it. You just like put your hands in the center and like pull it out.
Well,
Jeremy, I wish you were joking.
It is the time for us to be talking about shower pies.
Okay, all right, let's talk about it. Let's go, season 6.
This is like a big like Seinfeld thing that I feel like they would be talking about.
Hey, Jerry, you ever eat a pie in your shower?
Yes.
Kramer busts in. Oh yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
No, I mean you get a nice hot shower, an ice cold pumpkin pie, and you just go to fucking Pound Town on it. You don't even use your hands. You just stick your face in, like, just pie yourself.
Don't even use your
Just
hands.
pie yourself. Get freaky with it.
Yeah, you don't want to get your wet hands all over the
Exactly.
pie.
Yeah, you don't want to get your wet, soapy hands over this delicious cold pie as you're taking a scalding hot shower. 100-degree water, 40-degree pie.
I was originally thinking that like both like pumpkin pie and maybe like key lime pie would have been good in the shower, but now I'm thinking about key lime pie and like graham cracker crust. Probably not.
Yeah, the crust is not going to be your friend if your
gonna be real
hands are
soggy.
wet.
No, yeah, that's why you eat it with your face.
So you just walk into
know
the
how they
shower
have-
and just like hold it in front of you and slam your face directly into
Like,
it.
you'd have to get there
Jeremy,
somehow.
You know how they have those the shower speakers that like hang over the shower head, right? So instead of a shower speaker, it's just a shower plate.
It lowers in front of
You
you.
preload your pie beforehand.
And then
And then, yeah, maybe you have to like put your face through the water to get to the other side where the pie is every so often. But
well, and this leads me to an important point.
Okay.
Ew.
This
What did we
weekend,
miss?
was my anniversary with Grace. So we went. I was like, we should have like a really
Aw.
fancy dinner. So we went to like an upscale steakhouse.
Hell yeah.
You better believe we slopped them up.
Oh, fuck yeah.
yeah, you did.
And I gotta say, it enhanced.
They're
the
like,
flavor.
waiter, can I have some room temperature water? And they're like, what for, sir? And he's like, I need to make these steaks sloppy.
Oh, sweet Jeremy. It was ice water.
Oh, shit.
pretty good.
Sub 40.
Yeah, was it?
Just yelling, I used to be
But
a
now
piece
I'm
of
not,
shit
yeah.
as I...
People can change. But my point being is like, if you're thinking like, oh no, I can't let no water whatsoever can touch my pie. I'm here to say, let it.
Slop them up.
Let's slop them up.
Interesting.
Sloppy Pie October. Hashtag.
Hashtag sloppy pie October.
I'm still mostly against eating in the shower just because, like, I feel like soap would get in my
Well,
food.
Jeremy.
That's really the long and short of
Jeremy,
it.
why would you use soap before you're done eating?
Well, I think for me, it's sounding more of like a shower for recreation versus shower for a utility. Like, I don't know if you can do the two things at the same time.
and that's where
right?
you're
You have
wrong.
your cleaning shower and your pie eating shower.
No, guys, you're missing the whole point of this activity. You get to get like fucked up with the food. Like you just like get so messy and so freaky with it, and then when you're done, you take a shower. Like you finish the job.
You can do
I
that
slip
normally.
on like whipped cream on the bottom of my shower.
Jeremy, the whipped cream goes down the drain, my friend. What are you doing?
Plumbers love us.
Well, there's your problem. You got a chunk of rhubarb in your pipes.
Well, see, when the landlord raises the rent, you're like, oh yeah, I'm eating the greasy shit in here. Let that go right down the drain.
But I don't want my plumbing to be bad.
Then don't let it go down the drain. I don't know what to tell you, bud.
Jesus.
Look, Ian, you can't guarantee that you could eat an entire pie in a shower and not drop none of it. Like, just clean, no crumb
That sounds like,
situation.
all right. If one of you guys gets me like a fucking GoPro or some sort of waterproof camera, I will mount it in my shower and at a tasteful angle so that you just see me eat.
You can wear a fucking swimsuit.
You can wear swim trunks.
Jeremy, that
wouldn't be authentic.
Pie on my swim trunks, okay?
That would be ridiculous.
I'll do it. If any of the listeners out there, like, I'll fucking mail it back to you. Send me a waterproof camera. I'll set it up, and I will mail an entire pie.
Oh, I thought you meant the pie.
Mail me a pie. Probably send me like a little bit of money to help with this pie. Okay, I'm not a fucking doctor. I can't just be like.
And you might as well send a little money to help with this podcast too, because we're really gonna need it.
Please.
Yeah. This fucking pie stunt is going to cost us at least $20 to $30.
I bet if I live streamed it on my Twitch, people would be really into it.
Yeah.
You'd have to be really tasteful.
Like the pie.
Yes. Well,
Oh man, sloppy pie October already trending. on
All
Twitter.
right.
TikTok, Ian, this is why you got to be on TikTok. You'd be like, TikTok teens, this is what you do. And then you like dab a bunch and then you're like, eat a pie in the shower without using your hands. And like, then everyone will start doing it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I do know what you're saying.
Eat a whole pie and then chug a liter of Sprite.
Yes.
And
In the shower.
there you go.
Yeah,
In the shower.
You'd have to eat like a banana cream pie and then chug a.
There you
Oh,
go.
God.
Gallon of milk.
In the shower.
Yes.
Shower
All
of
right,
milk.
well.
Yeah, why the fuck not? I mean, shower beers
Hey.
are good.
Why the fuck not?
Like,
All you got to do is get a large container of milk and then like put it above you and like poke holes in the bottom. Bada bing, bada boom, you got a milk shower going.
that actually works really well when I'm on. I don't know about the milk part, but like when I'm on tour with Zoltan, like, the drummer will like, I'll just like, he'll bring a gallon of water and just poke holes in it, and I just hold it over his head so he can wash his hair. Tricks of the trade. And milk's supposed to be great for your hair. So like, fucking do it, cowards. I don't know, what is our fear of incorporating food where we bathe? Where did like, were humans afraid to like eat their food in the river? Like, I guess like
Probably.
Oh no!
I mean, it would get
apple.
washed away.
Yeah, I see a case for it. Fucking hold on to it. Don't let it go. Hold it like your life
Never let it go.
depends on it.
Okay.
Well, let's recap our recipes this week because we've been going on about pies for at least 30 minutes.
Holy shit.
So, from Ian, we have a large 10-pound meat pie from the game Baldur's Gate. Did it have a special name? I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, Hallis 10-pound pie.
Hallis 10-pound Pyroar. From Ben, we have Pyrobarb.
A rhubarb.
Rhubarb pie, excuse me. There's too much pie. From Evan, we have apple pie roar, and from me, we have pumpkin pie roar. Vote accordingly in the poll. And as soon as we're done, Ben will declare who the winner is.
I will say
I can declare who the winner is.
Who is it?
It's me.
How does it feel?
Feels
You've done
great.
it.
I got 2 votes. Jeremy got a vote, and Evan got a vote.
Wow.
Nice.
I guess the only reasonable meat recipe didn't.
I'm sorry.
Ian, I will say your pie would be the hardest to eat in the shower.
I have to agree with you there. Like, there's no way you could. It's just like I will say, like, it's dangerous to carry like weights in the shower. Like, that doesn't seem
True.
Are you telling me?
Do people
Ben,
do that?
Why don't I just do like weightlifting in the shower? Like I'm already sweating. Why not? I cleaning myself at the exact same moment.
And Jeremy,
Oh my god.
are onto something, but you have to have the right foot support, the right like grip. Maybe maybe you have some like water shoes that you wear in the shower.
Yeah.
But yeah, fuck
Excellent.
it. Why wouldn't you do that? Like 2 for 1.
Yeah. We have great ideas on this show, including the best idea, the next segment, which is Whale Lord's Mail Horde. Send your recipes to ichoosepod@gmail.com. Evan, I heard you have a recipe from Mike.
But Mike says, "Hey, Icy Boys," when he really just should have said, "Hey, Evan," because I read his goddamn emails all week long.
Well, he's addressing all of us.
Well,
You're reading it to us. You're like
that's true.
the messenger, the medium between Mike, who we understand as Mike, and us.
Yeah. Hey, Ben, Ian, and Jeremy. Mike here. I couldn't figure out a submission-worthy recipe idea, so I called in the big guns. My wife. According to an article I assume has already been cited in this episode, lions apparently taste like a cross between beef and chicken. Armed with that knowledge, my wife has decided we're making tacos out of this Pyroar. Get that skillet hot, slap minced garlic and chopped onion into your pan with some olive oil, cut your meat into strips and let brown in the pan. Season with cumin, paprika, more garlic, chili powder, salt, and pepper. Add the Pyroar meat to your taco shells with cilantro, lime, rice, beans of your choice. I like black beans myself. Pico de gallo and slices of avocado. Squeeze of lime if you're into that kind of thing. I have a jalapeno marg or two with these tacos.
Shit, fuck yeah.
Until next time, Mike and Kelsey. P.S. Being that you're all from New Mexico, are you guys on team corn or flour tortilla? Well, Mike, I'm going to let you in on a little thing. Blue corn tortilla.
Ooh, that is a good one.
It really depends on the situation. Usually for tacos, I'll go for a corn tortilla. But for a burrito, I'll go for a flour tortilla.
Gotta have the right tool for the job.
Yeah.
True.
I'm going to jump in for a second because Mike reminded me that our listeners can be involved in the institution of marriage. I hadn't really
True.
considered that.
Wow.
Anyone would marry any of our listeners. But
can we? Oh yeah.
Reminder that this is the LeCult episode.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ian realizes that you can that choosies can be married.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking imagine if a fan hired us as the reception band, but it's just us doing this
shit
wedding podcasts.
That is the first. Yeah, I hadn't thought about instead of the eternal struggle, band versus DJ, podcast,
live podcast. Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, this is my guys. It's time to dance to our first ad read.
Yeah.
Or and it's the husband and wife, and there's Casper mattresses, and they're slowly swaying in the center of the.
I'm gonna make a case that years from now, it's gonna be yeah, me and the fiance, we've been really arguing over do we want a live podcast or do we want a DJ to mix some pre-recorded stuff?
God damn it.
I love dancing to true crime, but
it's the serials theme starts playing and then some kid starts flossing in the background.
On that note, can we pause really quick? After my mic debacle, I don't see levels on my audio right now.
Oh
no!
I think it got the rest of it, but let me just stop the recording and then start it again.
All right.
Ben, can you read this Twitter thread from Pokemaniac Chris?
I sure can. Pokemaniac Chris tweets at iChoosePod. I have an uncharacteristically simple presupposition for you this week. There is a type of edible fungus called lion's mane. It looks like long, dangling threads, and when grilled, it apparently tastes like lobster or crab, so it's often used in vegetarian crab cakes. Thus, I presuppose to you, that Pyroar's mane is also made of edible fungus. The Pokedex thinks Pyroar's mane is made of fire, and of course, it's wrong. But this is nonetheless a very spicy mushroom. Use it sparingly to liven up parasect, shroomish, or fungus dishes. Or use Pyroar's mane on its own for some 5-alarm spicy crabby cakes that no one will be able to tell from the real thing. Just add some garlic, onions, salt and pepper, dried trevenant leaves, maybe a little roasted ground chespin husk, and a Chansey egg for binding. Just to keep the spice level from getting too out of hand, maybe serve it with some kind of go-gurt based dish. Oh, I see what's happening. Okay.
Yes, go-go and go-gurt.
It looks harder than it should be. Some kind of go-gurt based dip, something zingy and citrusy, And make sure everyone has enough to drink. I think the only appropriate LaCroix pairing this week is tangerine.
Oh.
Tangerine.
Tangerine. Great. Well, thanks for writing in. You can always send your recipes to ichoosepod@gmail.com. That's ichewspod@gmail.com. All right, let's choose next week's Pokemon in a segment I like to call Pick-a-mon. Evan, can you randomly generate a number between 650 and 725?
I can indeed. And next week...
And it's...
Yep. Oh, I was just going to say next week is 702.
702. I wish it was 69. Next 702 is Dedenne, the Pikachu ripoff from this generation.
Oh,
the
yeah.
electric mouse.
It's pretty cute.
Dedenne?
It's like
Is that how you?
steel type, right?
No, it's fairy type.
Oh, fairy type. Okay.
Yes. Excellent. So send in your best Dedenne recipes for next week's episode. All right. Plugs. Tell us about your shit, Ben.
You can follow me on Twitter at Ben C. Montoya. You can listen to a podcast I produced. It's called America's Dead. It's about the Grateful Dead. And if you do, hit me up. I'd be interested to hear what you think. But also, you should listen to the latest episode of My Brother, and Me, which you might have already done. It's called Face to Face Alabaster Hawk, Governor of the 13th. And it's cool because it was in San Diego, and me and Asia were there live in the audience for it. And
Can we hear you clapping?
Yeah, are you wooing in the
audio,
background?
Asia did find one part during the show where she could hear herself go, woo!
Nice.
So you can look out for that, but you won't know what Asia's woo sounds like or when it happened. But just know that we were there, and it's a really funny, great episode.
Excellent. Ian.
Two things. This week, when you're listening to this, you are exactly 1 day away from voting opening up for this year's Fat Bear Week.
Oh, shit.
The bracket is live as of right now, Monday night. So when this comes out, you can check out the contestants. You can make your fantasy bracket. Rest assured, I'll be doing this with all of my students. And
Who's the top contender, you think?
I've been very busy this evening. I haven't had a chance to look. Looks like on Wednesday it's going to be 335 versus 164. And then 747 is back again against 856. Those two are chonky as shit. I'm going to copy this image and drop it in the chat. They are big. They are large.
How many bears are in this bracket?
I believe traditionally 16.
Oh,
Traditionally.
so 344
look at these,
or whatever
these
is
are
their
two
like
different bears.
park tag name.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh, dang. They are
Those
chonky.
bears are
Yes.
large.
I thought 747 was going to be the winner last year. It was an upset with Otis, but
It's funny that it's named 740.
it's genius. If you want to get in on this, go to explore.org/fat-bear-week and cast your vote, make your bracket. Hit me up and let me know who you're voting for. And while you're doing that, you can listen to my song, Fat Bear Week, which is off of the album After Dark, if you look up Zoltan and the Fortune Tellers on Spotify.
Fat Bear Week.
Fat Bear Week.
Nice. Evan, tell us about it.
Yeah, when my microphone works, you can find me at on Twitter at _Van Aubrey.
Evan writes all his tweets through audio.
Yeah. When it doesn't work, I don't tweet. Yeah. That's about it.
Okay, my name is Jeremy Zielik. You can follow me on Twitter at VelocityPrime1 or check out my writing for the-avocado.org/Jeremy Zielik. Oh, we've got fun shit like movies and video games and television programs. Woo-wee, super fun. Anyway, that's the-avocado.org, Jeremy Zielik. And I think that will begin to wrap up our show. Thank you. Okay, thanks for doing that. You've been listening to I Choose You, the podcast about cooking and eating Pokemon. You can find us on your favorite podcast apps, including Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher, and Spotify, or your podcast catcher of choice. If you like your show, give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify to help us go up the ranks. If you want more I Choose You goodness, may I recommend our social media pages. I Choose Pod on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. Share your recipes, hang out with fellow listeners, and have a great time. We're going to have, if you want more from the I Choose You community, may I suggest joining the I Choose You Discord. Ben, I've heard we have a Discord event coming up soon. Now, when is it?
Yes, so we are going to do a special Halloween Franken Pokemon Fusion Monster mash, as it were, on the Discord. It's going to be October 23rd at 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific time. And more details will be in the Discord, so just go ahead and click that link in the episode and join the Discord. And we hope to see you there. It's going to be a fun night of making hilarious and devious Pokemon fusion concoctions.
Nice.
So it'll be a good time. You can grab some snacks, grab some drinks, hang out, and we'll see you there, October 23rd.
Excellent. Join us and have a great time. Lastly, but not leastly, check out our official website, ichooseyou.menu. Has a full episode archive and a merch store, all designed by one Evan Aubrey. It's a hoot and a half, so make sure you check it out at ichooseyou.menu. I think that covers it. Ben, yes?
I will just say, recently there's been kind of an uptick in downloads of older episodes, so there's never not a good chance to recommend the show to someone and, turn them on to the world of I Choose You. Go through that crazy back catalog we've got.
We have quite a catalog.
It's really a roller coaster.
Yeah. So, just another reminder that sometimes the best way to support the show is just to tell someone else about it.
Mm-hmm. Word of mouth.
Yeah.
All right. So, this has been I Choose You, the podcast about cooking and eating Pokemon. My name's been Jeremy Zieluk, the host, and Alton Brown with your...
I've been your friend on this show, Ben Montoya.
I've been your lawful good paladin, Ian Davis.
And Evan Aubrey.
And to all the listeners out there in Radioland, in a while, Totodile.
Yeah, I choose you. Yeah, I choose you.
Everybody wants to be a master.
Chef.
Everybody wants to show their skills. In the kitchen, everybody wants to cook that cluncher. Finny in at the top of the grill. Each time you fry, gonna cook it just a little bit better. Each taste you try, boy, this froky is nice and tender. It's a whole new world we cook in. It's a whole new place to eat. We're in season 6 with some brand new recipes, 'cause we're still gonna cook them all and make a pun or 2 or 3. It's a whole new world we cook in. It's a whole new place to eat. We're in season 6 with some brand new recipes, 'cause we're still gonna cook them all and make a pun or 2 or 3.